Gallery for our very special visit from David Meltzer and Julie Rogers. Yeah, thanks for coming. We first had David Meltzer in Vancouver in, was it 2007 or 2008, I think, with Michael Rothenberg. And that went very well, and we've been trying to get him back since, and I think you're in for a real treat. The way that things are going to go this evening is that there'll be a reading by Julie and then a reading by David, and then they're going to read together, to perform together to finish things off. If you are not already aware, I just want to make sure people knew that there's a bathroom at the back of this room, and there's also one in the Wine and Art Bar. It's also okay to bring food and drink in here from the Wine and Art Bar, but not okay to go through this front door and outside to go back into that has to do with liquor commission stuff, so just be aware that if you're going to take wine from one to the other, just use the doors at the back. Okay, and I'm Christopher Luna. I didn't mention that. I host the Ghost Town Poetry Open Mic, which began in November 2004, and is now this is its home. And our next reading will be May 14th. I hope that you can join us here for that. We'll first say hello to Julie Rogers, who entered the San Francisco poetry scene during the 1970s. Decades of involvement in the Tibetan tradition of Buddhism have influenced her writings, and in 2007, Vimala published her Buddhist Hospice Manual, Instructions for the Transitional State, with which she will soon begin a training program. Her publications include her selected poems, House of the Unexpected, which is here available for sale here tonight, and 6 chapbooks, including most recently Street War. Julie teaches creative writing for kids and adults and performs solo and with her husband David Meltzer. Beat poet Michael McClure said of her work, "Few poems are written as close to the heart, no extra words, just soul meanings." And David and Julie want you to know that they have also completed a CD called Two-Tone Poetry and Jazz with the saxophonist Dan Stewart, and that is going to be available starting this summer. But they're very excited about it, and they want you to know that it's available, and they're hoping that you'll want to pick it up after you hear them tonight. So let's please give a warm Ghost Town welcome to Julie Rogers.
Thank you for your enthusiasm. Let me see if you don't want this to fall. Does this get tighter? You don't want a limp mic. Well, David and I are really happy to be here. Can everybody hear me okay? And I want to thank Christopher and Tony and Leah and the gallery for hosting us. Thank you very much, and all of you for coming. I'm going to read a bunch of different things, a little from a couple of books and then some newer stuff. And I'll start with this poem called Life Work. There is something so precious, its impossible star streaks across your life, a pilgrimage to the secret of why you keep on living, picking up the mail, shuffling papers, paying over and over for hope to be who you must be, or why suffer? You ask yourself, could it happen? Yes. No. Yes. Its delicious, familiar taste rolls on your tongue with the name your mother called you by. And as you swallow this, someone finally, absolutely born, bursts forth like a new planet, where you now walk with your head held up, knowing you can do your work, and it is good. Thanks. This is a very fun poem for me. It's called Bearing Fruit. Nice for spring. Her yearning to be fruitful was so great she could ripen in seconds. pink-cheeked and full-buttocked, with a glow of a peach and a taste as sweet as the real thing. She admitted longing for shapes, seduced by pears, their firm figures lounging in a full bowl beside the bananas, arching their backs and spooning the oranges, so juicy. Strawberries pursed as lips, pressed by grapes piled deep in their perfect skins. Her passion? To run them through her hair, almost too much for a girl to bear. Counterbalance is the other word. This is a poem for the love of writing. It's called Ink Tracks. It's a black wand writing white space, magic ink tracks out of nowhere. It's a crutch you lean into, a think tank filling silence, taking over. Your hands become love slaves. It's a puzzle you must finish, heart-struck, dumbbell open, echoes from some gone home beating through you. So try to keep up. It's just words, written in tongues tied to tails tacked down with letters. Alphabet messages arriving from somewhere you can't put your finger on. Hold it, your staff, your yarrow stick, your handle on yourself. Clutch it like a toothpick, phallus, club, baton, balloon, flagpole flying your shtick. Follow it, don't give in to logic. Woo the muse with tunes, stay up past the moon, wrap poems on her beams of inner genius. Don't doubt that, keep going, but don't think you know something. Free as a crapshoot of ink and heart and guts, spill the mind that leads us to this. This was fun. There's this place I've often gone to write in San Francisco. We live in Oakland, but I like to write in the city. I like to write in Oakland too. And there's this cafe, Cafe du Soleil, that's on Waller and Fillmore in the Haight, in the Lower Haight. And you can see anything there. You just sit there and it all happens and then you can write about it. So this really happened, and the first line the guy actually said, I heard him say, anyway, this is called Stilts. Just made some stuff and enjoyed it, says Stilt Walker. Woke up with a want to walk on stilts, went to the hardware store, hammered them together, rose above the street like a circus man, a parade. Bird's eye view over bald spots, dark roots and hat tops. In the trees, man, higher than stop signs. Parting crowds, master over pedestrians with small dogs, but unable to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Different tools, man, longer poles. Here I am laughing to myself. I couldn't believe that. So this is a shift. Last year David got cancer, which is a huge shock, and he's doing well now. But it brought up, as you know, maybe everyone must know someone, so much stuff, so much fear and pain and confusion and hospitals and the whole thing. And I really realized through it that people don't talk about it much. It's sort of hidden. It's like you don't talk about it. So that's exactly why I'm going to read this poem. And it's about the moment we found out that he had cancer. He had surgery last year, and we're hoping that's that. But this poem is called The News. It's for David. We were naked, ready to bathe, towels on the toilet seat like always, you still had your glasses on, speakerphone in hand, your doctor calling. Sounds crowded down a tunnel, goosebumps, you were cold, that's when he said it. In shockwaves, drowning, the tub, the apartment, our bed, a raft too far away. His voice cracked us in pieces, staring through a fogged-up mirror, pounding pulse in our ears, forming the sentence, "You have cancer." The shower ran tears, your hair stuck white on pink cheeks, our backs bent over knowing. Our eyes locked like a safe sprung open, and you pulled a kiss from deep in the sea and gave it to me. Steam streamed down the window as you stood, and I watched the body of my beloved. You will hold me. You will say everything I need to hear, and I will hold your heart like a talisman and wrap your words around me with our nakedness. No crying. You cry, I cry. So there were a series of poems written during that time because we were just so stunned. And this is one. I was walking down Haight Street one evening and wrote this on the street. It's called Emptiness. Empty neon billboard, ad for space, squared void, open white light glows across the sidewalk on Haight at a bus stop, opposite a city map's relative world view, dim in comparison. The peninsula looks like a slice of the body. Side street veins, arteries, Market, Van Ness, green muscle of the park, bus line tattoos, a fist raised in blue sea. All the words explaining how to get around in the silent glare of no place, staring back from the other side of the bench. Thank you so much. This is sort of a comment on, well, you know, the cyber existence. It's called Solitaire. Alone on the street, in the house, at the desk, on the keys, the screen shines with icons, solid as thoughts. Pixels packed into space, notes tacked up, recollections, news items, sacks of gold and pebbles, piled up tailings. Tunnel to the underland, expand through cracks you break in yourself. Navigate subterranean rapids. No life preserver, no coach, no swimmer. Just an empty face watching over, waiting to choose what to do with the usual human condition you find yourself in. Mind's habitual habitat cycles and circles like flies in a jar on the desk where you sit, left to pick up the pieces, puzzled because they all look like yourself. Thank you. This is a new chapbook. David and I both had chapbooks published by the same publisher, and we did each other's covers, which was really fun. So this is his fabulous cover for this chapbook called Street Warp. And this is a poem that I wrote to myself after a rough day, and then laughed for 10 minutes. It's not that funny, but it hit me right. It's called Grief, Another Perspective. Sad is a turd you step on more than once, stays deep in the tread, prints the hall floor as you come to meet the people who would notice. Even if you remove your shoes, the smell is unmistakable. You nod and smile at the table. All the guests are your friends, and you want to become a napkin gently protecting your lap. You know what I mean? It's like that. Thank you. I'm not used to all this applause. So after David's surgery, when he was out of the woods, that's what they're called, the woods, I went off one day, and we live really close to one of the most magnificent cemeteries. I'm a big fan. Like the one in Italy, have you ever been to there's an island off of Venice. I forget the name of it right now. The entire thing is a cemetery, and the statuary is just incredible. So this cemetery is equal that, and it's in Oakland, California. And it's the quietest place in Oakland. So I like to go there. And I was sitting looking, you can see the entire Bay Area and the whole San Francisco skyline and both the bridges. And I was standing up there, or sitting up there at dusk. And this is for David.
Hold on, just have it dry.
Oh, here.
Oh, thank you. It's an old bag.
Uh-oh. I have it too. This is called The Return of Light. Low clouds blush dark pink, dusk, black headlands, sea gone, only fog shredding gray past the bay. As night's lights spring neon blooms, urban pillbox hills blossom white sparks under suddenly throbbing red-lit rooftop copter pads. Skyrise eyes scrape open, staring over the harbor's hazy yellow glow. Fire flashes of cars streak to the bridge, a sloping costume necklace hung below the pyramid's pulsing tip, blinking on water far beneath a crescent moon floating through pines. Each needle distinct in oceans of space, Luna's brilliant boomerang slowly flinging herself past us. And I'll read a couple of poems from my little book. It's a compilation of about little pieces of 30 years of work, a whole bunch of different manuscripts that are still all unpublished, but it's nice to have these published. I'm going to read a couple of poems. I lived in Southern Oregon for 25 years before I moved to Oakland when I met David. I missed the trees. Did I say I missed the trees? And the river and the lakes. So I'm going to read a couple of poems about the Klamath River. And this is called Rest. The river, a dream drifting in slow green sleep, shifts silently below the bugs and dragonflies that race above its murky bed. Rippling sheets lift and settle in silver where sun lights to rest on dark water. Gently moving, the river turns over, a long nap in late afternoon, while crickets keep empty time, the pitch of their wings like ticking clocks tossed into space. And this is called The Feeding Ground of Dragonflies. In an orchestra streaking orange, black jet with white tips, metallic blue, in random patterns on staccato wings, they play silently to tittering birds and the rhythm of water's gentle applause. Trees stand along the river in tall columns as in a ballroom, dancing with dragonflies, swooping to the cool, mirrored surface, willing to touch down, to pluck their heart's desire from among the floating mosses and reeds, stiff as wallflowers along the edge. Occasionally, they couple, joining in flight, flowers of fluttering petals, heavy on the air, over this still pool on the Klamath River, off a dirt road in the middle of nowhere. Thank you. When I read, always, my mouth dries out and all my saliva comes out my armpits. It's like it just falls. It's like a waterfall. Your head becomes empty. Your body sweats profusely. It's like, So here's another poem, just one more. This was just written outside Medford, Oregon. You may have driven through there. And you know, this happens right next to the house. It's called Ambush. A pack of coyotes is mad with joy in the dark, eyes flashing fire, lighting clouds of rising dust, weeds fly, crush of dry leaves beneath their chaos of sirens, as crimson dirt lays open the deathbed of some small being who didn't stay hidden. Tufts of fur drift to the earth like ash. Bones splinter as they growl and snort and chew. That quick. We never want to think of this, but it is true. Like bandits in the night or starving mothers. Like men at war, they attack. So purely, so absolutely certain, it is not possible to judge them. You guys can just come to all my readings for that, okay? You are hired. So this is a little deviation. I have a book of poetry written for 31 years, actually. It's my daughter's life. I started writing it when I was pregnant with her, and the last poem, I think, was written last year when she's 30. And so this is a poem from my daughter Sange that comes from that manuscript. It's called Lovebird. And this is called Hen House. The mother is never done. Her hands work her heart, Play-Doh shapes. The mold cuts her to size. She looks in the mirror of her child's eyes and stares back. She holds a bottle, a receiver, a broom, remembers not knowing what to do, but she never stops talking. Her voice, an alarm clock, bullhorn, lullaby, crackling long distance, muttering under her breath, quick prayers, hopes like great clouds on the horizon. She tells herself to let go. All birds fly. She cleans and cleans the nest, its emptiness, its clutter of songs. She learns to sing a new tune. She's off key, but carries on late at night when the other hens are quiet. So I'm getting into a theme. You'll know what it is very soon. A little short theme here. And this is called On a Certain Page. These hands like maps, veins of rivers of years lead to fingers buckled down to work. Hold the pen, the pan, the pot, the checkbook with its flighty sum. Hands bulge blue lines. Looks like someone else's old news, not mine. I want to be young forever, chasing this body, begging it to last. Hands hold the page, a riot of black scratches bent over meaning, knuckles like little old ladies on their knees, praying for relief. Their wrinkled noggins like a row of heads rising from the trenches. This is fairly new. It's one of David's favorites. I find it very delightfully inappropriate. It's called Humoring the Routine. This body leaks, limps, creaks from the mattress, knees crack, back cramps, eyes tear and goo, squinting at clocks, books, the horror of mirrors, street signs, menus. The brain forgets to clean the glasses. What day is it? Who knows where I put it, or what I just said anyway? I can't hear you across the table. Just warbling background rush pierced by tinnitus. Say again? Plugs in my ears. He says I snore. Gotta wear pads everywhere. In shoes to fit the knots, riding bronco on toe joints, padded chairs, bed pads, heating pads, pillows, wrist braces, rolls of belly flub, flab like grandma's swings from my arms, waving like white flags. Note that hair disappears from the head to appear out of nose, ears, chin. The teeth move out as the fakes move in, the topographical map of veins. What a shock! Need to pay attention to diet. Try to walk. Don't forget to set the meds up. Don't get plugged up on the pot. What goes in comes out different. A late night romance with a foghorn or the clickety-clack of a ratchet. Batten down the hatches. Don't breathe, but don't stop. That's the key to keep all this going. Each other completely. That was really fun to write. Oh, I have an idea I have to fulfill. So I'm going to read a couple of love poems for David. And they're very different from one another. And this one actually, he totally hooked me on the phone. We met for 1 hour and then we were 350 miles apart. And he called me every night at 8 o'clock, and one night I was in Oregon and it was hot in July, and I was out in the backyard of the place where I was staying, and there was this frog. For you, dear. It seemed like a metaphor somehow. This is called Frog Song. An incredibly loud frog cackles one cack at a time, a rugged blurt, a single grate of grating sound off in the dark. Then silence, one single burp. Quiet broods, then a hiccup. A dog barks, the crickets are hysterical. Clicks of crackle coming out of the black pitch of a throat, not unlike other frogs. A grumble in the bumpy hide of soft warts that are meant to be there. Green and speckly, perfectly warm skin under the neck of a long life living under shrubbery. Who could imagine it? That you would sing to the night, crouching in a song that rumbles the dirt in the luscious rub of your own rhythm. Thank you. And this is called Book for David. In your chair, your cave, head bent to book, your prayer, your cradle. Quiet lights your eyes, fingertips, bowing spine, wooing mind from its house of white head, atop an old man disguise, dog-eared trappings of sage, sweatshirt loose on bones ground down into flesh you wrestle daily. Clomp along to the teapot, stand at the sink, look out over the Oakland hills, delight in their heavy gray. Pause on the walk back to swallow titles, each a cell that fled your body for the shelves. Pause again, look in on me, still across the bed, my skin your page, belly of words, mythic dark patch, your full quill, breasts, oh, love's round letters, will write your poems, but today you are reading. This was one of those experiences that artists and writers and musicians have when they're really lucky, where the thing, whatever the creation is, it comes right out. It's as though you're not even involved, you're just the vehicle. This poem came out in a solid rush, and when I was writing it, my daughter was watching TV, and the last line was the thing that was said on the TV at the moment I wrote it. It was very bizarre. However, I changed that line. But it was very weird. It's called Revelation. I am woman, man, child. I am the peak, the cave, darkness, brilliance. I am that which is invisible, without substance, a vision of nameless form, present in the body, in the senses, an atmosphere of bliss and profusion. I am the empty voice of rumors that tell everything, revealer of secrets and lies, the throbbing pulse of a hidden life spent in full view. You cannot control me. I am assertion, withdrawal, giving, taking, force of energy, and creator of frenzy. I am in your arms, under your tongue, between your legs, in your heart so firmly that your life is your own, but your eventual surrender is certain. I am your mother, your lover, your enemy, your idea of yourself, undone, made more beautiful, more real, more of an illusion. I am not a thought, a phantom, a mask, a mirage. I am what you have always wanted, what you fear, what you don't understand, what you have deep inside you, like a world you cannot touch but feel constantly. I am your savior, betrayer, ally, spy, guru, slayer. There is nothing I do not know about you. My throne is firm on your crown, on your face, your penis, your lotus. I live inside you, blood, bones, whirling atoms filling the space of your dissolution. Do not doubt my expanse. Do not distrust the emptiness of my presence. You speak of me as a mystery, but I have taken you everywhere. I am prayer, curse, vow, the promise of experience. I steal your ideas and spin them off into the world without asking. Do you know me? Sky dancer, mirror, a blinding ray of heat. I have transcended belief. I am simple as faith. Only the unknown can live beyond me, and once made up, you will think I am your mind, where nothing is lost, nothing is found. Trust this. Thank you very much.